preparation. It was a winter morning in November 25th November 1949. The country had become independent. The last meeting of the Constituent Assembly was going on. Preparation for the establishment of the Republic were in the final stage. It was decided in the Constituency Assembly that Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar should conclude the debate on the matter and answer the question that arose in this regard. This was a proud moment of the person who was given the responsibility of just drafting. Moving forward from drafting the Constitution, Baba Saheb had by that time come to be counted as one of the leading nation builders of the country. With all the agreements and disagreements, the Constituency Assembly knew that Baba Saheb had a holistic vision to understand the challenge of the newly formed nation. Therefore, despite the presence of many senior members including Nehru and Patel, Baba Saheb was entrusted with the responsibility to respond to the debates and objections. The speech of Baba Saheb proved to be historic not in the sense that there was some unprecedented enthusiasm or scholarship in this speech. It was a speech given the restraint and precaution rather with fear. In this speech, Baba Saheb points out the challenge of the newly forming nation and suggests ways to deal with the challenges. Till this moment, Baba Saheb refrains from calling India a nation. He calls India a nation in the making. While talking about the principle of one vote, he also makes it clear that such equality has not been achieved in the country. He considers economic social inequality as the biggest obstacle in nation building. His biggest concern is how will the caste-divided India society take to shape of a nation and how will it be able to protect its existence as a nation in the face of economic and social inequality. They had expressed this apprehension and warned the Constituent Assembly that if we do not end this inequality, when the people suffering from it will destroy the structure which this Constituency Assembly has built with so much hard work. Another important warning of his is that extra constitutional movements should now be avoided to fulfill one's demands. He calls this the path of grammar of anarchy. According to him, this will weaken the constitutional structure. He was deeply uneasy and concerned about the dominance of upper caste Hindu men over the state machinery that was emerging. Here, he is not speaking as a warrior fighting for the political social rights of the untouchables or as a leader fighting against the evils of Hinduism, nor is he speaking as a lawyer or an economist. Here Baba Saheb appears as a nation builder. His concerns are not about any caste or group. On this occasion, he is speaking as the first spokesperson of a complete nation that is being formed. This is the constitutionalist Ambedkar, who believed in the universal principle of liberty, equality and fraternity in thought, word and deed. Baba Saheb takes the definition of nation from French philosopher Ernest Renan. Renan does not believe that a race, caste, language, religion, geography or shared interest can make a community a nation. For Renan, the nation is a shared idea which exists because every individual in it considers himself a part of the nation. In this sense, it is a daily referendum. For both Renan and Baba Saheb, the nation is a sacred idea in which every member has a share. Therefore, in his last speech in the Constituent Assembly, Baba Saheb brought forward the elimination of economic and social inequality as a national agenda. He wished that constitutional institution would open the doors of opportunity for the underprivileged and make them stakeholders in democracy. This is extremely important for national unity. Therefore, while accepting the principle of equality of opportunity, provision for social rights has been made in the chapter of fundamental rights of the Constitution. The principle of reservation comes from here. This is not about providing employment to every member of disadvantaged caste groups in India, which has a population of crores. The purpose of reservation is to make the deprived caste feel that they also have a share in the opportunity available in the country, and they also have a contribution in running the country. That is why the constitution seems to take care of minorities, tribals and women. On 22 December 1952, Baba Saheb said in a meeting of lawyers in Pune, democracy is that system of governance in which change in the social and economic life of the people is possible without bloodshed. Anyway, let us return to that cold morning of 25 November 1949. After this speech of Baba Saheb, the chairman of the Constituent Assembly Rajendra Prasad announced the adjournment of the meeting of the Constituent Assembly to the next day. The next day, on 26 November, the Constituent Assembly adopts the Constitution. 2 months later, on January 26, 1950, the people of India gives themselves their own constitution and become a republic. But the story after that is a story of great disillusionment. Baba Saheb has said that the day we can write the best constitution, but its success will ultimately depend on those who will run the country. Even 67 years after the establishment of the republic, the agenda of eliminating social and economic inequality has not been accomplished. Inequality has become more severe than before. Large areas of the northeast, Kashmir and central India are plagued by violence due to discontent. Caste existence in its walls from universities, corporate world, media, culture and bureaucracy are the new bastions of casteism. India is one of the worst countries in the world on all parameters of human development. It is one of the darkest corners of the globe. Indian democracy should have been more beautiful. Those who run the country have disappointed Baba Saheb. This is not the notion that the Constituent Assembly and Baba Saheb had envisioned. Why this happened and who is responsible for it is another debate.